So, first of all, thank you for being me here. It was a very funny situation 3 days ago. Jens posted a LinkedIn post, so yeah, there's a speaker missing for this event in 3 days. Is there somebody who wants to do it? And I said, yeah, of course, no question. Don't know what to talk about, don't know how this will go, but I will do it. So this was the first time. And so first of all, I want to play a little, let's say, a game. Can you raise your hands up if you're under 40 years old? Okay. Raise your hands up if you're under 30 years old. Okay. Under 25. And now raise your hands up if you're under 20 years old. 1, 2, 3. What about you? 4? So first of all, can we get a little applause for these youngsters here? Because for me, it's always so nice to see other young entrepreneurs or young people here, because, well, for all of those who are a little bit older, think about you when you were younger. Would you go to an event like this? I'm not sure. So now you maybe ask yourself, well, what the hell will one of the youngest guys in the room tell me about life, right? And because of that, I want to introduce myself a little bit better, what I'm doing. So one of the main things I'm doing is hosting the Young Entrepreneurs Club podcast. You can listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcast, interviewing every 2 weeks young entrepreneurs. The other thing I'm doing is hosting the Young Entrepreneurs Club MeetUp at the base co-working space every 4 weeks, where all the young entrepreneurs in Munich come together, drink and talk, and just network. But the main thing I'm currently working on is obviously my own startup. It's called What2Work, and What2Work is basically a platform that connects young professionals with startups in order to prepare them for the digitized job market. And of course, my startup is in a very, very early stage, and I know currently I'm developing the prototype, I'm trying to get the first customers and so on. But even though my startup is in this very early stage, it requires a lot of time and of course a lot of work to build it up. So for me it's always hard to say, okay, you have to work really hard. And with the background that I didn't study, I do not study, and I'm not going to plan to study, it's truly an art of self-teaching what I'm currently doing, because it doesn't matter if it's finance, design, marketing, whatever, everything what I need for my startup, I have somehow teach it myself. Well, it's kind of interesting sometimes, but I have to do it somehow, right? So this is for me truly the art of self-teaching. But here comes the point. This is one of the reasons what I really, really love about being a young entrepreneur, teaching myself all that stuff, because I know that there is nothing I could study that teaches me those things I'm currently learning. And this is important for me to say that this is just the best solution for me. I know some people, for example, that want to become doctors or lawyers. There's no way that they don't study, right? So they need to study in order to become doctors, lawyers, because they really, really want it. Fair point. But I also many, many friends of mine who have like no idea what they want to work and have seriously no idea what they want to do. So they start to study like anything. And they recognize very fast, well, maybe that's not the right thing for them, but they just continue doing that. And the worst part about that is that they're like always complaining. They're always saying, oh, I hate going to university and I hate what I'm doing, but I don't change like anything. And for me, this is just wasting time, right? And if you think about that, time is the only valuable thing for us humans, it doesn't make sense for me to waste your time, right? So why don't we invest the time in ourselves in order to gain experiences that will enrich your life? And yeah, that's what I'm currently doing, just trying things out and get around the world, for example. And yeah, gotta take risks. And this is very important to me, taking risks in a young age. This is very, very important for me. There was once an interview with Steve Jobs where he talked a little bit about his life philosophy, and he got asked like, how did he start Apple and so on, and he just replied, yeah, you know, of course this was very risky, but what do I really have to lose, right? In this very young age, you have no houses, no family, no kids, whatever, so what do you actually have to lose? And every time where he has to decide something, he always reminds himself, okay, I don't really have something to lose, but I have everything to gain in this young age. So, I just adapted in my own life, this way of thinking. And I mean, taking risk is, yeah, quite nice, but taking risks only won't bring you far in life, right? So how I said before, you have to try things out in order to find something that you actually love to do. And for me, for example, everything what I'm currently doing are just things that I love. So I wake up in the morning and I'm just so excited about the work I will do. So I work like kind of 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, kind of, not always, but again, not because I have to or because I need to, no, because I want to. And this is really, really important for me. And again, if I'm saying hard working is the only way, it is not true. I know that many people in this room who maybe are content with what they currently have and they don't even want more, also fair point. But I also know that there are many people in this room who strive for more, who have big goals, who want to achieve big things. Cool. Me too. But you have to work hard in order to achieve those dreams and goals. So now you maybe ask yourself, well, this sounds very stressful, like working all the day, 24/7. I don't want to do this. And I understand you, and because of that, I want to tell like about the other side, how I see it being a young entrepreneur. And this is the way of thinking about having enough or being content, having those things. And for me, that's the thing, like, of course you have like big goals and big dreams you want to achieve, but you always have to know what you want in the end, right? So if you start something, you have to know what the end goal should look like. So for example, if I say I want to build my own startup, then I want to make another startup, a big company, I want to have much money and so on. Yeah, I maybe want that, but I always have in mind that in the end of the day, at the end of your life, it doesn't matter how many companies you have, how much money you have. I know it sounds basic, but it just matters if you're happy or unhappy. No way around it. And according to this, I want to talk about a little story. How many of you know the story about the fisherman and the businessman? Okay, some of you. Doesn't matter, I will tell it someone. I mean, I have 3 minutes left, so fill this time, right? So the story about the businessman and the fisherman is following. There was once a businessman who was really, really hardworking and kind of just before, working too much and a burnout and something like that. So lucky for him, his wife decided to went him to vacation, and he went to Brazil into a small beach, and then on the second day, something like that, he went on a beach walk, and then he saw the fisherman in his small boat with some fishes in the boat. So the businessman asked him, so how long does it take you to catch these fishes? The fisherman replied, not so much time, just a little bit. So the businessman replied, and what are you doing the rest of your day? Fisherman replied, just playing with my kids. The fishes I'm fishing are enough for my whole family to feed. and in the evening I'm going to grab some beers with my friends. Then the businessman asked, okay, I have a plan for you. I have a PhD in business administration, and I can help you to catch even more fish, to get more money, and to get more boats. And I will tell you how. So first of all, you make more fishes a day. Then you sell them so that you can have another boat. And after that, you get another employer, and so on. The fisherman asked, and then? Businessman said, well then, after a while you can open your own headquarters in Sao Paulo and have even more employees, even more fishes to catch, and you can even earn more money. The fisherman then asked, cool, and then? Businessman said, well then, when you want to retire, you can retire and live your life. Fisherman was confused. What do you mean with living your life? He said, well, you can play with your kids, and after the while you can grab some beers with your friends in the evening. And the fisherman said, isn't that what I'm currently doing right now? So that was basically the story about the fisherman and the businessman. And I just love this story so much because it shows us the true meaning of having enough and being content. And for me, those three things, taking risks at a very young age, working really, really hard on your own goals and dreams if you have one and you want to achieve them, but always have in mind that at the end of the day and at the end of your goal, it doesn't matter how much companies you have, how many money you have, that you just be lucky. And those three things combined are the true meaning for a fulfilling and meaningful life for me. Thank you.